Now, the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, in the Savannah region says it is not well resourced to carry out a search and rescue as 50 persons remain missing in the Black Volta. In the incident which occurred Friday night, a boat carrying 53 small-scale miners capsized on the Black Volta. NADMO has rescued 2 persons alive and 1 retrieved the lifeless body of 1. Speaking with Joy News editor Fred Smith, Bole District Director of NADMO, Kipo Sulemana, said they are depending on local divers to help with the rescue efforts.
The boat was overloaded, and while they were crossing, I think in the middle or something, it capsized. Some are claiming a lot of people were inside, but at the moment they've been able to rescue some 3 people. Only out of the retrieval of the bodies, 2 died, 1 survived.
We got information that those on board may be more than 50. So your search?
Yes. That's the information I got. That they are claiming is possible they may be up to 50 something. We need to be sure of the number so that we can be able to give up. But they've been able to retrieve 3 bodies. 1 survived, but the other 2 survived, but 1 lost their life, a female.
Okay, so you started a search yesterday.
Yes.
Are you hopeful of finding people alive today?
For this one, I can't be able to tell because they are not on life jackets. Where you think maybe you go and people will be suspended on the water. But as a matter of fact, if the living soul lives in the water for more than 24 hours, it's possible that we may lose a lot of lives. And so we are still hoping that maybe we'll get some lives that are still not dead. So let's pray.
Mr. Suleiman added that the magnitude of the operation will require external help in ensuring that casualties numbers are reduced.
Actually, at the moment, we are just relying on the local folks, those who are divers. And, we have these local fishermen who are good in diving and other things. So I must be frank with you, we don't have the logistics to be able to do that. I'm being sincere with you.
Do you need help from Accra or any other place to be able to do this effectively?
Yes, if we get help, it will help.
Okay, but
we want to rely on we. I called the officer in charge and he hasn't picked yet.
Now, the government has unveiled its ambitious plan to phase out traditional textbooks in all senior high schools across the country and replace them with laptops. Under the plan, which is set to commence this year, the Ministry of Education will provide laptops to all secondary schools students as part of their learning materials. The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, who announced this, said textbooks and other teaching and learning materials will be installed on the laptops to be used during lessons. Speaking at the 60th anniversary celebration of the Hohoi Evangelical Presbyterian Senior High School, Dr. Bawumia said the initiative, which will be implemented before the end of 2023, is aimed at preparing the students for the global village.
Hohoi EP Senior High School climaxed its 60th anniversary celebrations on the campus. In attendance was the Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, Railways Development Minister and MP for Hohoi, John Peter Amewu, Volta Regional Minister, Dr. Archibald Yaolecha, among other dignitaries. Addressing the gathering, the headmaster, Franklin Amesimeku, outlined a number of challenges he said are affecting academic activities.
Whilst as management, we owe a debt of gratitude to government, HEPSOSA, the PTA and NGOs for the various supports in the provision of some of our facilities. We also acknowledge that there is a lot more to be done. Our agent list. Teachers' housing hiccup also ranks high among our challenges. Ladies and gentlemen, another area of worry to management and the entire health community is the inadequacy of furniture. It is palpable that the inadequacy of facilities in schools has direct proportional effect on academic performance. accommodating over 3,200 students in dormitories meant for less than 1,000 students is not only dehumanizing, but also presenting management and stakeholders indifferent to students. Another area of concern, Dr. Chairman, is the age-long phenomenon of acute water shortage, which gets worse year after year.
The Vice President, Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia, acknowledged the contributions of the EP Check to the growth of the country's education sector and promised to take up the challenges of the school. He indicated that education sits at the core of the government's agenda, hence it would continue to invest in the sector.
If this country must move forward in the right direction, we must invest in education, which is the only platform for preparing nation builders of tomorrow. The Minister for Education has also assured me that this year we will start the replacement of textbooks with laptops, which are textbooks embedded in senior high schools. So you will have the laptop, you will have all the textbooks embedded with past questions, lesson plans, and all of that to help the teachers and the students. The final year students, unfortunately, you may not be part of it since you are leaving in September. But second years and first years, we will distribute these laptops in badges, and you will be able to benefit, because we want to equalize access across the country. Everybody must have access, and we will save a lot of money, by the way, from the physical textbooks that we are printing. But the Minister for Education assures me that we will be able to start this process before the end of this year.
The HEPS Old Student Association are short of completing the fencing of the campus and construct the multi-purpose assembly hall. Fred Kwame Ansah, Joy News, Hohoe.
Former Attorney General Ayuke Otu is worried the November 4th date for the new Patriotic Party's National Congress is too late a time, adding that it will leave the party with very little time to campaign and put the party in order for the 2024 elections. 3 presidential aspirants seeking to lead the party in the 2024 elections have so far filed their nominations following the opening of nominations this week. Speaking on PM Personality Profile, Mr. Ayuke Otu explained the fact that we have a hung parliament should push the party to have early Congress.
We had this problem of 17 candidates that somebody had the guts to call them 70 thieves. So, because of the number, we decided that, look, it will be better to have 5. So anytime those who show their faces will be more than 5, then we will have to go for what we call a super delegates conference and to reduce the number to 5. So only the first 5 would now be asked to contest. And if I can recall the names, you have Alan, you have the Vice President, you have Kennedy, you have the Akoto, then you have Ajepong, Adainimo, Joe Gate, you know. So clearly we've gone beyond the 5. So that would happen in August. And the nomination opened, I think, 26 or so May, ending in 24th June. When it will be closed, and then we go for that one. Then after the first 5, we wait till November, that we now go in for the full, you know, the presidential primaries itself.
Isn't that too late a date, considering the job at hand?
Well, that is what the powers that be have decided. But everybody talks about early primaries. The NDC is showing the way, and nobody wants to listen. They want to do theirs in May. So they have plenty of time to campaign. Nothing prevents us from doing the same, especially when in Parliament we are 137. There's no real advantage. So if they come early and they start campaigning, wouldn't it affect your people in the long run? Yeah. The majority of the people actually want early Congress. There are just a few who know what they are doing, why they think that we should wait. The primaries for the incumbents would even be next year.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's
very, very late.
Very late,
you know.
yeah.
And well, the timetable is out. People seem to have accepted it because we thought that people would agitate. But it's like, you know, nobody is ready to stand up to authority to say anything.
Yeah.
You are either with us or you are an enemy. So if you don't want to be branded an enemy, just keep quiet and just let's go.
Now, President Akufo-Addo has commissioned a €70 million Elmina fishing port in Elmina Central Region. The project aims to provide adequate space for a deep marine facility to boost the fishing sector in the region. Speaking at the event, President Akufo-Addo highlighted that the project will greatly benefit the fishing industry and serve as a symbol of hope, progress, and prosperity for the people of Elmina. Richard Kojonyanko has more in this report.
The president, at the commissioning of the €70 million project, indicated that the port will strengthen Elmina's position on the fishing and salt industries and place the city at the heart of the cultural ambitions, making Elmina one of the most dynamic coastal cities in Ghana. He reiterated government resolve to remain resolute in the pursuit of programs and initiatives that support the growth of the fishing industry.
The project created a significant number of jobs during the construction phase and would also create additional job opportunities, both direct and indirect, when operational. This fishing port project represents a significant milestone and adds to the existing two fishing ports of Tema and the Sekondi Takoradi. Government remains resolute and will continue to pursue programs and initiatives that support the growth of the fishing industry. As we commission the project today, I urge all of you to take keen interest in and address collectively the challenge of illegal, unreported, and unregulated fishing and other unhealthy fishing practices that have the potential to deplete our fish stock. These illegal practices have resulted in and may continue to lead to a significant loss of potential income for coastal communities. We must work together to safeguard our fish stocks, promote sustainable practices, and address the socioeconomic needs of the fishing communities.
The president thanked the people of Elmina for keeping faith with government over the construction of the project and not listening to people he refers to as naysayers.
I thank the people of Elmina for trusting the Akufo-Addo government to deliver this project, whose sword I cut on 20th August 2020. And I thank you for not listening to the naysayers. I remember that after the sword cutting, the former president, John Dramani Mahama, the perennial NDC presidential candidate, came to Elmina 4 months later in December and described the fishing harbor as, quote, a Sakawa fishing harbor, unquote. He was emphatic in his statements that the construction of the Elmina harbor would never materialize. It is just as well that he is not God. And I'm equally happy that he, together with all the other naysayers, are alive today to see President Akufo-Addo commissioning the Elmina fishing port.
Central Regional Minister Justina Marigodasan emphasized the need to ensure the fishing industry remains vibrant to serve the coastal communities and the people of Ghana.
This project has therefore come at an opportune time to provide adequate facilities such as the administration building, workshop, a shed for the fisher markets, cold stores, a new slipway for bigger vessels, a boat refurbishment area, a modern place of convenience, a daycare, bathing space, and a deep marine access to ensure the durability of the Mina Harbour.
The paramount chief of the Edna traditional area, Nana Kojo, said the project was a dream come true after many doubted it would materialize. The project is expected to increase the accessibility of the port and extend its capacity, improve the fishing industry in the central region as a whole, and also boost the touristic appeal of the UNESCO-classified Elmina Castle. Reporting for Joy News, Richard Kwejenyakon, Elmina.
Now, Ghana and Dubai are set to sign a memorandum of understanding aimed at addressing the plight of Ghanaian migrants seeking employment opportunities in Dubai. The agreement comes as a response to the increasing number of Ghanaian migrants who have been lured by unscrupulous agencies promising lucrative jobs but end up being exploited and subjected to abuse. The MOU aims to establish a framework that ensures proper channels for employment, safeguarding the rights and well-being of Ghanaian migrants in Dubai. Here is Ambassador of the Republic of Ghana to UAE, Alhaji Ahmed Ramadan. He spoke exclusively to Joy News.
We have really established some memorandum of understanding between us. Okay. We made them to understand that, our people have been coming here to seek job, and then there is this kind of issue where they come in, this kind of job they are expecting, they don't really get them, and that we want to step in to make sure that, these things are smoothing down. So we signed an MOU on labor migration. Okay. Well, it has not been fully ratified back home and even here. Okay. So it is still, in the pipeline. Been a challenge. That's right. Well, the challenge, our parliament has not really, deliberated on it, okay, to finalize it. And then they also haven't really completed their processes of finalization. It's still in the pipeline. So they are still in the pipeline. Okay. But we also did that of visa waiver, okay, which was also ratified by our parliament, okay, and they also ratified it here. Okay. But we have certain initial difficulties with the airlines when they are picking the Ghanaian, to this place, not knowing that these things have been ratified, it creates a little difficulty. But for now, it has been resolved. People coming with diplomatic passport, they don't really need a visa. They can come in, and when they arrive, they can get their things through.
Welcome back. Now, former Petroleum Minister Emmanuel Amakofu-Boah has questioned GNPC Board Chairman Freddie Blai's involvement in the possible transfer of ownership of some of Ghana's oil fields. 29 civil society organizations have this week demanded he be sacked after it emerged he had written to offer portions of Ghana's oil fields to South African oil giant Petroleum. Mr. Blai has, however, insisted he has not done anything contrary to law.
Man of the South African Corporation, my counterpart in South Africa, and myself, and we've met not just one-on-one, but group to group since 2021, discussing about this their intention to preempt and our intention to keep what Anadako has given us, KJOHL, at the moment being held by DH. We've been talking about it, and I wrote a letter proposing that can be, instead of you taking the 7% or we taking all the 7%, can we discuss, because they wanted giving 75% of them, and I said no, let them take 25, 50%. But I added something. I added that even this that we are talking about, between us, it's subject to the approval or otherwise of my minister. This is in the letter written, and they have the copy to everybody that is involved. So we are discussing. It doesn't mean that we dispose of it. I understand when people have come, CSOs have come to say that they have been talking about AKE in the past. They've been talking about ENI in the past. They've been talking, I agree. But we are still discussing this matter. And proposals in and out are being given. They themselves counter proposal also making. Now, in the course of this, and then letter comes out to the public, and they are saying that Freddie Blai, as an individual, at the expense of the interest of Ghana and sold out the interest of Ghana. I think it's not fair.
Yeah.
Why should I even make that proposal? If the threat that they say that they have a right to it, and if we don't say they have a right, the question is it goes to arbitration. I'm saying let's prevent arbitration because I have my advice, you have your advice. But I don't want to tell you what advice I have had from our own professionals, not individuals talking on
that's fine. But
wait, let me finish. So it is a question of trying to prevent going to an arbitration. We have a duty, fiduciary duty to our corporation to protect the shares of the corporation, to protect Ghana's interests. And in good conscience, if you say that, please, let's talk about this one. And I'm saying, I add also that subject to the approval of my supervising minister, what wrong have I done?
Yeah. Now, former Petroleum Minister Emmanuel Kofi-Boah says the involvement of the board chairman is problematic.
But even if that applies, requires that they basically do that if you preempt and it's correct, based on your percentage. Let's grant that the joint operating agreement stands. Petro SA has 4% in this agreement, and Jubilee Oil Holding has 7%. So what is the basis for the 50-50 that the chairman has agreed? In his letter, he says that he's agreeable to that 50%. Even if we agree that the joint operating agreements allow that preemption to take place, the chairman is not able to explain how he arrived at the 50-50%. In any event, we have also not seen a board approval of this decision. Why is it that it is the GNPC board chairman who is writing the letter? Is he the executive chairman? Why is it not the CEO writing the letter? In any event, why is it writing the letter in direct disregard of the directive of the Minister of Energy? But what is really important for me and for us, a lot of us, has to do with GNPC's mandate. GNPC, number one goal is to increase Ghana's stake, make sure our stakes are increased, more oil for Ghana. The reason why GNPC was established, that's the first objective. And one of the reasons why GNPC is being given money every year by Parliament is basically to prepare them to the day where Ghana will be in a position to get our national oil company.
Also, political risk analyst Dr. Tio Echampon says the actions of the board chairman are contrary to law.
The process is very clear. There is no way that a right and a shares that have been acquired using national money or public resources through a company that has been set up as a subsidiary of the GNPC. And this right belongs to the people or the good people of Ghana. There is no way that a third party who is a commercial party in this transaction, in this case Petro SA, can come in and say, let's take a portion of those rights. If that were the case, then we might as well just have Tallow Oil and all the other partners in the deal also saying that we also have a portion of those rights that should be accruing to us. So I think the board chair is very wrong on this, and we have to be very emphatic about that. And I support the call of civil society in relation to this, because we have studied this this transaction or proposed transaction. We've looked at the past behavior of officials at the National Oil Company and others in relation to how we've been giving away these deals and concessions. And in this particular instance, it is very clear to us that the board chair was wrong. In fact, the minister was right by having written those letters and telling the board chair to stop what he's doing. because it is at variance and contrary to the laws of Ghana, and particularly the Petroleum Agreement and the Petroleum Act, which is where every other thing, derives.
Well, that's all I have for you on Journey Sprang. With me, Razak Musbah. There's more on myjoyonline.com. Please do have a lovely evening.